Welcome to Unmasking Greatness. I'm your host, Chris Kokoris, a lifestyle fitness coach and mentor. This podcast is about unmasking your greatest potential, finding your purpose, and crafting a life worth living. Health and fitness has been the gateway drug to all of my success. My continuous drive to keep learning and surround myself with other high achievers forces me to level up, which has developed my mind to something I never thought was possible. This podcast is here to share what I've learned and continue to learn with all of you. This is your sign to take back control of your health, mindset, and personal environment. Strap in as we are recharged, and always, if you find value in the show, please subscribe and share as we can all get better together. Let's go. Today, I'm going to come at you aggressive because I want you going into the weekend leveling up your life. So with all good intentions. Now, this topic specifically has been on my mind because we actually have some athletes that we take on in our program that's getting ready for a competition in the next week. But the term that is always coming up, and not so much with them, so I'm not calling them out initially, but a lot of people hear the term off season. You know, my off season is coming up. I can't wait to get into an off season because in season, in prep, you have a lot of training sessions, sometimes 2-a-days. The nutrition is a little bit of aggressive. I mean, you are an athlete, but what about an off season in an everyday person, right? What does that look like? Everybody has these ambitions and goals and things that they want, but are you living your life in an off season? Actually, I don't even like the term off season. We don't even use that terminology. We call it progression season because that season should be utilized to improve you. With bodybuilding, it's improving muscle. We're trying to increase muscle mass because when you're in show prep, you really can't do much. We're maintaining the muscle as we drop the body fat. So progressive season means let's get bigger. Let's put on some more muscle. Same thing in your everyday life. You're not a competitor. You should always be in a progressive season, leveling up areas in all areas of your life, whether it's your finances, your business, your work, your relationships, spiritually, any avenue, your health, of course. But sometimes the old you must die for the new you to be born. The old you must die. What does that mean? It's the identity that you have within yourself. You know, it's that inner toxic voice that constantly you're negotiating with. Everything from when you wake up in the morning, are you hitting that snooze button? Are you telling yourself, oh man, I'm so tired, 10 minutes. I just need 10 minutes and I'm going to feel fully refreshed. You've been working hard, Chris. Just sleep in an extra 10 minutes and everything's going to be okay. Are you negotiating that concept? Maybe it's, I'm going to skip my workout today. I've been training real hard. I'm a little sore. And they say recovery is good. So, you know I'm supposed to work out today, but I could take a day off. You know, I'll start back next week. Everything will be okay. That little negotiation. Or maybe it's even in your job. Maybe you do something like sales and you're telling yourself, you know, you're doing your sales calls and you start getting a little bit fatigued. And now that little inner voice is starting to tell you, well, you did okay. You closed 2. Those people, they'll call back when they're ready. Again, you start to negotiating the things that you know that you should do, those things that's going to move the needle forward to help you reach your goals. That little voice is so toxic. And see, we have 2 voices inside of us at all times. It's kind of like a dual battle. One's a little more dormant and one's a little more active. Now, which one that is, you can probably dictate by looking at your life. But the point is, the one that's the negotiating, the one that you want to basically constrict, is that little toxic inner bitch voice. The one that's constantly just weighing you down, holding you back, making it sound okay that you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. You know? And so with that, it's understanding, you know, do you need the willpower? Are you searching for willpower to fight those conflicts, those internal battles?
You know, where's that willpower come from? You're probably like, Chris, like, what do you mean willpower? Where does that willpower come from? And that willpower, I'm going to tell you right here, you want to make your why so big that your how becomes easy. I want to say that again. You want to make your why so big that the how becomes easy. That's powerful. Your why. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing these things? Why is it that you want to accomplish your goals? Because we always can figure out things if we really want it. If it's really important for us to achieve it, we somehow magically come up with solutions for those, right? And that's where you got to sit with yourself and figure out, what is that why? Why do you want to achieve it? Is it going to change the outcome of your relationship, change the outcome of your income, change the outcome of your health? Why? Why do you want it done? That's why tons of people come to me and they're like, Chris, like, I want to lose weight. Cool. Why? Like, sure. Like we can obviously logically say that you need to lose 30, 40 pounds. But why is it that you want to lose that goal? It's got to be affecting your life and on an emotional level, right? Is it that you can't get on the floor and play with your kids, right? You can't even go to a theme park because you can't walk more than 20 steps without having to sit down. Maybe you have to rent an automated motorized wheelchair to get around, and now you're embarrassed. You know, those kind of things is what's really going to anchor you to wanting to reach your goals. So there has to be a level of self-control, right? There has to be a level of self-control to help you achieve these things. And when you understand what that why is, that's when you start to build that self-control. And when you start to understand that the things that you're doing that others aren't willing to do is going to yield you the results that they will never get, right? We always look at others and say, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that body. I wish I could have that car. I wish I could have, the freedom to travel wherever I want to go. But are you negotiating with yourself with all those things that you know that you need to be doing? What are the things that they had to give up, sacrifice, put the time in, continually educate themselves to be able to obtain something larger than what most cannot? I can promise you there's something. They're doing something that you're not, right? Because if you continue doing the same thing that you're doing, you will get the same results. I can promise you that. And when it comes to your health, it will be worse. Because if it wasn't, that case would be, you would literally just keep continuing eating the same amount of food, which is overeating, inactivity, and you will gain more weight. It's the facts. If that was not the case, then everybody would stall out at a certain weight. And that would be, okay, you tapped out, you maxed out. No, your body will adjust for the good or the bad. So we need to understand, we need to take that little inner voice and we need to start gathering it, right? And we need to get control of understanding what we really want and get that little inner bitch voice. And we need to constrain it. We need to constrain it. We need to throw it in the trunk of the car because you're the driver. You're driving that car. Throw that voice in the trunk, duct tape it, right? To the point where now, even if it was trying to yell, you can't even understand what it's saying. You want to starve it of oxygen. Never let it see sunlight again. Because when you're driving, you want to put that pedal to the floor and we're going because we know exactly where we want to go. The path is clear at that point. But until you take control and constraint, we need to understand what we're doing, why we're doing the things that we're doing. And not only that, understanding you have goals, you have results that you're trying to achieve. You want to make sure that you fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the work. Because here's the thing, the results is not always what it seems to be. There will always be another goal. You have 40 pounds to lose. My goal is to lose 10 right now. Hit 10. I got another 10. Do another 10. You drop the 40. Now I want to actually start focusing on building muscle. I want to start building my body, sculpting. Seems like there's always something else. But what's going to help you stick to that process, stick to, the routines, the rituals, the things that's actually going to get you there is actually enjoying the process. If you enjoy working out, if you enjoy the foods that you're eating and is getting you the results that you want, don't you think that's a great equation? Don't you think that's going to help you get to the result you want and keep it long term? Of course. And that's where you need to be very creative or get someone to help you to create something that is sustainable long term for you, because you trying to level up your life should never end. I always say that I'm on a forever personal development journey because I'm always trying to fill my cup up. I'm always trying to improve my skill set so that I can be better. I can be a better human being. I can be a better friend, a better father, a better husband, a better team leader, a better business owner. All those things, like the only way to get better is to constantly learn, educate yourself in the areas that you need. Here's a really good example. Okay. There's two different types of people. Okay. And I want you to take this into consideration. There's two people. All right. Your first one. Okay. This person's going to wake up 8 a.m. They're going to eat their breakfast. Okay. By 9:30, they're going to get to work, answer some emails, probably scroll on Instagram, TikTok, do some admin stuff. And then by 11 o'clock, they're finally going to actually do some deep work, some work that's actually going to move the needle. But in an hour, 12 o'clock is lunchtime. Time to take lunch. So what happens? You go take your lunch. And then, about an hour, you get back to work. About 1:30, you're trying to gather your thoughts, kind of get back in the zone. By 2:30, you're back into your deep work, and then what happens? About 3:30 or so, you get a random call, a call that's not scheduled. You answer it. Now you're down a rabbit hole in a conversation that wasn't planned. 5:30, it's time to go home, and because your day is so exhausting, because you feel like you've done so much, you go home and you just shut down. Maybe you turn on Netflix. You don't really spend quality time with your family because you're tired, you're exhausted from working all day long. And then you basically go to bed, rinse and repeat. And when you add up, the amount of hours that actually made a difference and again, move that needle forward, 2 hours. 2 hours of deep work throughout that whole entire day. Now let's talk about the second person. The second person that wants to really kind of level up, ready to take control of their life. They want something. They know their why. This person's going to wake up at 4:30 a.m. They're going to wake up a little bit early, right? And they're going to get straight to work. They're going to do some deep work. By 6 o'clock, they're going to get their son up, get him dressed, get him ready for school, and help the wife get things ready. And then drop the kid off at school about 7:30, 8 o'clock, they're at the gym, work out for an hour. And on the way to the gym, they listen to a podcast. Let's fill that cup up while we're in the car together. Let's elevate together. Let's learn and grow together. Listen to a good podcast. Get to the gym, work out, have a good workout for an hour. Get back home by 9, have a post-workout snack, back at work at 10 a.m. Deep work starts. No emails, no texting, no social media. We're going deep work, the things that are moving the needle forward. 12 p.m. is lunchtime, right? We already crushed the hours of work prior to the first guy. 12 p.m. is lunch. 12:30, now we're going to check the emails. Now we're going to respond to any texts and calls. This is when we're actually going to, do some of that admin work. 1:30, we're back into the deep work. Moving the needle forward. 6 p.m., we cut it off. 6 p.m., we're done. We close the doors, spend time with the family, eat dinner together. By 8 p.m., I'm putting the son down, read him a bedtime story. 9 p.m., I'm in bed with the wife and, maybe even do a little bit of reading, right? In an area that I'm trying to improve in. Again, let's fill that cup up a little more. Or something else. So as you can see, the second person is me. It kind of unfolded towards the end. I'm talking about me. That is my schedule. I do 8 hours of deep work a day. And people ask me, wow, Chris, you've changed so much. Wow, you're doing so great. Yeah, that's because I control my time. I control my schedule, which helps me make sure that I'm filling my cup up in every area. I have time for my family. I have time for my wife, alone time. I have time for my work. I have time for educating myself. You have to understand how to manage your time to be able to be in control of your life. If you are drifting through life, you are losing. You have no idea where you're going to end up. It's like being in a little rowboat with no paddles, in the dark, no sail. You're just going where the waves throw you. No control. There's nothing you can do, right? That's a horrible feeling. That's a horrible feeling to have. And there's no way that you can progress that way because you can never make it to the island that you really want or the mainland that you really want to. This is how you're going to be able to make the ground to reach your goals. Drifting is unacceptable. And you must accept to be truly great at anything, it's going to take sacrifices. It's going to take sacrifices to achieve any sort of goal. Maybe that's, you're not going to be able to hang out with certain friends because they don't align with what you want. Maybe it's, going out on the weekends, because it's not that you can't go out with your friends on the weekends and have fun, but you can't control yourself. You don't have the self-discipline yet to control your amount of drinking, to control the amount of eating that you do, to control the time that you need to go home. You get out there and guess who else is negotiating with you? All your quote unquote friends that are, just stay out a little bit longer. Just one more drink. We're going out to Waffle House afterwards. Let's go there. We'll hang out and then you can go home. You're going home at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? This is not aligned with your goals. And this is why your why is so important. You have to understand, why is this really important to you? And I can tell you this. You don't have to tell me and you don't have to tell anybody else because your actions will. Your actions are going to tell exactly what you want in your life. So if you are filling your cup up with podcasts, reading books, educating yourself, controlling your time, having non-negotiables, having boundaries, that tells a lot about you, that you respect yourself. Or is it that you just kind of drift? You just kind of go with the flow. I don't like scheduling. I don't like being on a time. I just want to chill and watch Netflix when I get off from work. I want to just watch mindless shows that are don't do me any good. Just mental masturbation. I just want to feel good and just shut down. It's going to tell a lot about your goals and what you want. So understand, why is it that it's so important to you? And this is why, wrapping this up, I don't like the term off season. Off season means you want to shut down. It sounds like it's off. It's like a light switch, on, off. I'm either on or I'm off. But I don't want you to look at it like an on and off switch. I want you to look at it like a lever that's like powering up a nuclear power plant. Like the farther we flick that switch up, the more energy that we're pushing into it. And that is the progressive season. That's what I want you to think of. Not an off switch. There's no off. The off is when you die. And the only thing that needs to die is the old you. So going into the weekend, I want you to really remember why you want to achieve those goals and make sure that your actions are aligned with it. Just write them down. What do you do every day? Does it align? If it doesn't, then it's time to make a change. So anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend. This was meant to really get after it, get you focused, make sure that you're aligned. We're almost at the tail end of the year and everybody's going to be doing these New Year's resolutions. Forget the New Year's resolutions. Let's always progress every day, every minute, every hour. There's more to life than just drifting. All right. I love you guys. See you next time.